Hello there, how are you? You want me to tell you what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentations of the women!
Hey, what's up, Internet? It's Doc here, and today I'm playing Red Orchestra 2, which is a game I have never uploaded before, and until a couple days ago had never played before. I was interested in checking it out when it released, but not interested enough to spend $50 on it. But Steam's having their fall sale or whatever around the Thanksgiving holiday for those of us that are in the U.S. and around the autumn time, or a Thursday if you're not in the U.S. And so it was on sale for 50% off, $20, which is not bad, and definitely worth checking out at that price. So the point of this game, it is obviously a first-person shooter. It is PC only, not available for consoles, and the whole thing with it is that it is they go for a level of ultra realism, so to speak, in that it is pretty much hardcore mode. If you know, compared to Battlefield or Call of Duty, this is like playing those games on hardcore, where it takes very few bullets, if more than one, to kill something, and the game is all objective based. And there's roles like team leader can call in artillery strikes and stuff like that. I think that's how it works. I don't know all the answers to this game, so if anybody watching this has played it before, and I misstate something, forgive my ignorance. It's just I haven't played it much. I've only been playing for a few hours, but I have been enjoying my time with it, and that's the important thing. The only problem that it really suffers from right now is a significant lack of players playing it online. It gives a count of the number of players that are in a server when I go and try and browse for one, or playing the game period, and it's been in the hundreds pretty much every time I've looked. The most players I've seen online at one time at this juncture has been about 800, which is, I mean, that's pretty low compared to the thousands that are playing Call of Duty or Battlefield or any of your more mainstream shooters. But that being said, most of the servers have bots enabled, so just to fill empty slots in the server. So this game that I'm playing right now was kind of early in the morning when I was playing it, and there's maybe 5 or 6 human players in this match, divided relatively evenly between the teams, and then the rest of the space is filled up by bots, which kind of sucks because you lose some of the magic of this game with having bots in it, but you can at least still play it in a full match rather than playing some bullshit like 2-on-2 shenanigans. I have been in a few servers where it was more or less full. They have up to 64 player servers, I believe, and most of those are, I don't know, I didn't quite enjoy the 64 player server as much as a 32 or 24. It just seemed to be too many people. It was more or less just a clusterfuck of everything going on at once, which is not bad in some cases, but for the most part I prefer, you know, a little bit more of an easy to follow experience. But even so, the bots, while not ideal, it makes it so that the game can still be played without there being a full server of people, and you can still enjoy the game. The ones that, I mean, obviously the one that I was in that was actually all people was a totally different experience, and much more fun, I will say. Now, the way that they have, we'll talk about the class system in the game. The way that they have the classes set up is quite interesting. In this particular match, I am playing as the squad leader. I don't even know if anybody else is on my squad. It's not similar to Battlefield squad system, where you can spawn on any squad member. You can spawn on the squad leader if you're in a squad that has one. So the squad leader of whatever squad I'm in, I don't know how all that is set up either. I haven't really delved deep into trying to figure all that stuff out just yet. But the squad leader position that I'm playing means that I get this gun here, the PPSH, playing as the Allies, or I believe the MP40 if you're playing as the Axis. And I think there's also an option for an automatic or semi-automatic rifle in that position, but I've spent most of my time in the game playing as a rifleman, which just gives you a bolt-action rifle. And I thought that was really where the game shined most. It is not a game designed to be a run-and-gun kind of situation, because like I said before, the most things you're dead in one hit. The bolt-action rifles especially. So as with that being said, since it is a bolt-action rifle, if you come across something in a close quarters engagement, you better hope that that one shot that you get to take before he takes multiple shots is the one that kills, because otherwise you're pretty much done for. So but they do that intentionally. There is only a few, you can't have everybody can't play as the guy with the submachine gun or whatever that I'm using here. There's a limit to the number of players that can be each class. So there can only be one marksman, which a lot of people would say would be awesome to have in games like Battlefield, where everybody likes to play the recon and camp out and not play the objective, so to speak. So there can only be one marksman. There can only be a couple of non-squad leader assault classes, which are the ones that get the option for submachine guns or automatic rifles. And then there can be almost infinite numbers of riflemen. And while the submachine gun is a beast close quarters, that's what it's designed for. They intended for those that are carrying weapons like this to push up and attack while the riflemen cover from a distance and then move in once some people have been cleared out of the location that you're trying to capture. Which is by limiting the number of people that can use these kind of weapons, that it typically almost always works out that way, which is nice. And so the game is not there. You'll never come across a match, at least I haven't, and I don't foresee it happening, as it's just probably not possible, where everybody's just running around like a chicken with their head cut off doing their own thing. It just doesn't really happen. So it adds a whole new dynamic to the first-person shooter. And if you get in a good match where people are communicating, as there is voice chat available on the PC, there's a voice chat button to chat to team, chat to squad. I don't know about chat to all. In addition to the typical PC text chat box. So if you get in a game where everybody is talking and communicating, you'll often have a lot more wins. Excuse me. The way that they set it up to work in terms of capture points is interesting. It's not such that there are, 5 or X number of capture points on the map, and then you go and just capture whichever ones you want. You can't take the next spot until you take the one before it. So in this particular match, you'll notice that myself and my team are pretty much hanging around the same area for most of the game. That's because that is the current contested capture point. We have to stay there and defend it, as they're putting on a constant offensive into it, and we don't really have an opportunity to get to their capture point that we can take, which is fine. The game doesn't necessarily penalize you for having less capture points. It's more the enemies would have to take all of them in this particular game mode, I believe. There's several different game modes that all have a similar concept with the whole capture point thing. I have not had a chance to play all of them, so I can't really comment on how each individual one works. But it's just, it reminds me a lot of Battlefield 2 Modern Combat on the console. I don't know how that worked out on the PC, because as I said before, I didn't have a PC that could run it at the time. But it reminds me of how they, I forget what they called them, but it was essentially Conquest, except there were attackers and defenders. They weren't called that, but the attackers started with one flag at the very beginning of the map, and the defenders had all the other flags. And the maps were linear, and so you had to move from one flag to the next and capture each of them in order. You couldn't really run around. There were a lot of choke points, and it was quite a good game mode. I think it was, in my opinion, kind of the precursor to Rush. Rush sort of took the place of that, and personally I prefer the old Conquest way of doing a similar thing, essentially. And so this is similar to that. You have to take each spot individually until you've got the one before, and then you can move to the next one, while the people that you took the spot from have a chance to come and take it back. So you'll see on the screen, or you have seen on the screen, Axis have captured Elevator Foothold, and then right after that it'll say Allies are attacking Elevator Footholds. We're just trying to take back the one that we just lost. So a very good game, totally different from most of my first-person shooter selections. Typically I tend to run in almost exclusively the mindless run and gun kind of games. You know, Battlefield is a little more complicated, but I mean, ultimately at its core, it is still kind of a run and gun sort of concept. And so I've been enjoying this change of pace, and it's a fun game. It's a well-made game. While the graphics are not the most amazing thing ever, that doesn't really bother me. I still enjoy the game. It's good. I like it a lot. And I just wish that there were more players in the match, so I wouldn't have to play against bots. But that being said, playing against bots is not the end of the world, and the game is still enjoyable. So I can't really complain too much on that end. I think the 50% off deal on Steam is already over, but I want to say that for the next couple days, if you're watching this when it's uploaded, or within a day or two of it's uploaded, they've got it for like 33% off or something like that. Still significantly cheaper than $50 or whatever it costs right off the bat. And don't be fooled by the people in the forums bitching about this is broken and that is broken and the game is shit because of it and all that. I haven't had any kind of problems in terms of all that, but that may just be me. So thanks you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this, and there may be some more of this game in the future, but we'll see.